Hi, I'm Ralph Cohen, and I've been an IFS lead trainer for about 5 years. Well, I teach marriage and family therapy, and as part of my teaching, I discovered a book that incorporated IFS called Meta Frameworks. And in reading this book, I got very excited when I learned about how this model was taking what I knew from family therapy and incorporating it into working with individuals. And then when I actually saw the work, I was totally smitten. It was such a powerful, moving kind of drama that would unfold with clients that people would get better pretty much right away. And then they would go to places that I never dreamed I could take them to as a therapist. I really understand that people come into the trainings from many different places in their lives and in their careers. So I try to understand why they're there and really tailor the program to meet their needs in whatever way makes sense. And every time I do a level 1 training, there's a different constellation of students in the program. And so every training really is different. People would describe my training style as being very low-key. It would incorporate theory along with practice, and a lot of demonstration, a lot of involvement with the students. The experiential component is woven into the fabric of the teaching. So I always like to teach, demonstrate, and then have people practice the concept that they're trying to learn and chunk it into bite-sized bits. So people really get a felt sense. So they may be doing exercises, they may be doing practicing skills with one another in dyads or triads, try to involve the whole group in various exercises as well. I would say hold on to your seatbelts, that it's a very exciting training. It's also it goes to people's depths in ways that maybe they don't expect, so they may be surprised by where the training takes them, maybe very quickly. So my advice is not to get scared off if you get a little triggered, because the whole training is about helping you to work through the parts of you that get triggered and to really hold a sense of your center, or what we call yourself. Well, I pretty much exclusively incorporate IFS into all the work that I do, whether it's working with individuals, couples, families, groups, teaching. So in my professional life, it's ever present. And in my personal life, I really try to be mindful and aware of what happens inside of me in interactions and how I come across to people. And it's made me a much more sensitive person. I think that this is the perfect model to help people to be able to really understand how to interact with people, whether you're a teacher or you're a manager or just working with people in the public in whatever way. And it also allows you to deal with difficult people, so that what would normally upset you or get you angry or turn you off, you can separate from that and really stay grounded, what we call being the eye of the storm. So I think it's just an excellent model, not just for therapy, but just for guiding us in life. I actually had a model that I worked with that would be taking people inside and working with their parts, but I didn't know it at the time. And that was something called Ericksonian hypnotherapy. And the difference was that in this training, the Ericksonian therapy training, the therapist is very active and is kind of in charge of where the people go. And with this, I found that I didn't have to work so hard. I could just let it go and just follow where the client needed to be, rather than my having to assess and figure it out and come up with some clever story or metaphor. And so it was very freeing to do that. Also in family therapy, what I found was by incorporating IFS, I could see that I'm not dealing with people in monolithic terms, but I see the different parts of them that come out in the context of their significant others in the family, in the therapy, and so forth. And I could help them to make dramatic shifts in the session just by acknowledging the different parts. So that's really been a major shift for me. Awareness of myself and others, and compassion for the same, myself and for others. If you're contemplating taking the IFS Level 1 training, it's not that you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater and give up what you already know or what you do. It's not a cult. It's just a new way of looking at people that's really not so new, but it's just put together in such a way that the technique isn't as important as just your sense of awareness and presence. If you come to this training, it's very experiential, and you're going to be asked to do things that may seem a little bit hokey or threatening, and that would be focusing inward and checking in with what's going on inside of you. That's something that we Westerners really are not trained to do. In fact, we're trained to focus outward and to assess what's going on with other people. So it really does challenge you to do something that really kind of cuts against the grain of what our culture teaches. But don't worry, it's safe, it's harmless, and it's non-fattening.